Well, this is my first time trying this. Let's see how it goes. I don't know what I'm gonna explain really. I have nothing prepared. I just am trying this for the first time so that way you can see all my settings on my phone as well as on my screen here. I'm using a Sony a7S III tethered to my phone, Android phone, doesn't really matter. First thing I'm gonna do, go to brackets, set it to a 2 exposure bracket with 3 shots, hit apply. And this is pretty much going to be the same thing every time. My white balance is basically set since it's a white room. Don't have to adjust too much. Okay, trigger that. I'm going to turn on my flash. Go to a custom white balance that I've created, which is set at 5500K, and it's also let's see here, if I set it over to 5500, 1.5 and 0.5, then I go over to the side and I make another adjustment. I set 1.5, 0.5. There we go. So that's basically how I set my adjustment right there. I have it as a custom white balance. Since I'm using a Godox Sony flash trigger on a Sony flash, if I just go over to the white balance, it actually throws off the color of that flash. Let me show you real quick. You can see it here on my phone. I'm at a 1/8. Gonna set my trigger to a single flash, and then go to 1/250. My f-stop is at 7.1. I need to drop my ISO down to 320. It's usually what I have it at. It's not bright enough. I'm going to go over to 1/4. On my trigger, you can see here that white balance is still kind of orange. It's off. So I will change my white balance to my custom white balance, and what I'm going to do is my first flash is going to be above the camera. Camera's here. I'm going to pop it up over the camera. I'm not in the picture frame. I'm at 1/4 on the trigger, and that's going to be my darken repair layer. We'll go over to the right side of the frame. Boom. I'm not changing my flash trigger. There is a bit of a shadow that comes up right here from the light and from the flash being popped up off of this right side wall, but that's okay because in the ambient that shadow is kind of there a little bit. It's not the same type of shadow, but it's similar and it's almost in the same spot, so it doesn't really matter. It's fine. Okay, I'm still at 1/4 on the flash. There you are. Look at the difference on the wall. Look at how nice and clean that white wall is compared to that Sony on Sony Godox trigger. I'm gonna take one more flash pop on the right side of the room to fill in these couches with light. You can see here that on the right side of the frame, without popping that flash over here on the right side of the wall, this overall image would be in shadow when going into the editing room. So you always want to pop a flash kind of where the light is coming in from. You don't want to miss those spots. Otherwise, it's easy to just think that you're trying to light in this area of the room, and you can't forget about the rest of the image. So it's a little tip right there. All right, next shot. Turn off the trigger, go down to an exposure that looks nice. I am going to kind of professionally blow out these windows. It'll still have some detail out there, but they don't really want to see the houses that are out there. They're kind of old. So what I'm gonna do here is, after leveling out the camera, I'm going to my histogram, and you can see here that one stop over on the exposure, but that my histogram kind of curls up to the right side of the frame. And that's almost like a Nathan Cool technique. He says what, expose to the right, and I really like that technique of exposing to the right for the ambient. It just makes the images look nice and clean and eye-catching when you're scrolling through hundreds of images of houses. The brighter ones always capture your attention. So now my white balance, since I'm shooting an ambient frame, my white balance doesn't really matter because the ambient frame is only going to use a luminosity blending, and luminosity blend mode only accounts for the luminance value, the brightness of the image, and it doesn't take into consideration the white balance. So I'm not going to change my white balance off my custom white balance that I use for the flash. Instead, I'm just going to keep it on there, take my 3 exposures, boom, brightest, oh, it isn't actually, there it is, brightest, middle exposure, and that's going to be my darkest exposure. I'm going to switch over to a single shooting mode, turn on my flash trigger, drop this over to 250, 1/250. I'm still at f7.1, ISO 320. I'm going to try this out at a 1/4 on the flash, and I'm going to do my darken repair. Actually, I'm going to try 1/4.3. That's not really bright enough. That's not really bright enough in the shadows over here compared to the edges of the frame. So I'll raise it up to 1/2 on the trigger. And that looks a lot cleaner, looks better. Now, since we're going into the inside of the frame, I'm actually going to drop the exposure, or drop the value from 1/2 to 1/2 -0.7. Take that shot. Otherwise, if I would have left it at 1/2 like this, here's what we just had it at, 1/2 -0.7 on a 600 watt flash, compared to this 1/2 right here. It's just, this one's slightly too bright, whereas this one still has more detail, and it might be a little hard to see it on the 360 camera, but you can kind of tell when you're looking at it close up. So now I'm going to the other side, going back to -1/2, or 1/2 -0.7 on the flash. Take that shot. And let's see, yeah, that's not bad. What I'm looking at right now are these flash pops, this bloom right here, and making sure that it doesn't cross over into this other one on this side. Because if you have too bright of a flash pop and these white blooms start to cross over to the other side of the image, then your blend is not going to look right, because you're just going to have this massive flash blob that is not impossible to fix, but it just takes more time, and time is of the essence when you're trying to edit a house or multiple houses. So I'm not going to do any window pulls here because it's not needed. So that will also take a little bit less time. This is going to be for an Airbnb, so the images will be similar but not exactly the same when it comes to the composition. We have a little bit more leeway. when it comes to creative compositions. Now, this isn't really that creative. It's just showing the room, but I'm not trying to be creative right now. I'm just trying to take what is necessary and move on to the next. So I'm checking to make sure that my focus is on point. I already set my brackets to +2, 0, -2, 3 exposures. I'm gonna take that, boom, easy, turn on the trigger, go to a single frame on the drive mode, shutter speed 1/250. We're at the same that we were at before, 1/2 -0.7. On flash, we're gonna do this above the camera. That's not bright enough. I'm just gonna raise that flash a little bit. That looks a lot better. That looks better. Now we'll do side to side. Easy. Gonna have to drop the power to -0.7 again for this side, because when you do that, you're closer, the flash pop is closer to the wall that you're lighting compared to when you're further over here lighting up this top corner over there to a wall that's all the way over there. That's different, so you need more flash power to reach that corner over there, and you need to drop it when the wall that you're lighting is too close to the wall that you're lighting up. Alright, normally these shoots will only last about an hour and a half, maybe, if I'm doing an Airbnb. And especially since I'm trying to explain things to you all right now, it might take a little bit longer. We will see. This is just the first time we're trying this. Maybe I'll do some more in the future, depending on how this turns out. Okay. I am just trying to show the TV in a nice way that is close to the couches in the frame, but I cannot get this in here. I think what I can do, let's see here. Let's try this shot. What I'm trying to do is get an edge of this couch right up in here to show the proximity of the couch, make it seem as if you're kind of sitting on the couch looking at the TV. Making sure my focus is good. I really like shooting with the Sony a7S III because the connection speed to the Android phone is just as fast as when you're using a Cam Ranger, because I have a Cam Ranger, but I use that primarily for my A7 III, which the tethering connection is actually quite slower, which is why I ended up buying the Cam Ranger to begin with. The only downside with the A7S III is that the resolution is not as great. The details, when you zoom into the image, are not as great as with the A7 III. And so it's kind of a trade-off, but this is just standard real estate. So I don't really care about super high-end details being super crispy. Turn on my flash. My trigger is on. I am at 1/2 -0.7. You know, I'm at -0.3. I'm gonna get out of the frame here, take that shot. That is too bright. Too bright. on this edge of the wall. And although this is a white room, and that's fine ish, not really, if you were to ever do that with a colored wall, you're going to end up washing out the color, and your darkened color repair layer, repair group, that portion of the wall is going to end up being like a bluish tint because you overexposed the color, and the color couldn't show through that layer correctly. With a white wall, I'm not so concerned with it as much, but I'm not trying to blast that wall with a lot of light. So what I do want to show more light on is these couches. Those are kind of dark, so I'm just increasing the flash pop up to 1/2, and that kind of helped out. That might be a little bit too bright, but it's whatever. It all depends on how much you care and how much you're getting paid. If you're getting paid more, then you should care more. But if you're just getting paid your base, well then time is of the essence always, so that way you can just stack more houses onto your schedule. That's a little bright. This middle part right here where that frame is, it's a little bright, and I'm afraid that might be too bright when I edit. Or not, well, it is bright, but at the same time it's crossing over into the other flash pop, and that's not what I want. See how the brighter part of this flash is more to the left of the frame? That's what we want. And you can see that it's not overly bright on this side of the frame as it crosses over. So that's going to be where the blend is on the gradient blend. Alright, there's a light inside of here. So I'm going to drop my flash power to 1/32. Because these lights up here, they're just can lights. They're not super strong lights. There's no windows over here, so you don't want to overpower it. You see how nice and soft that light is right there? It's a little bright right there, but the ambient layer when we edit is going to take care of that. That's fine, but don't over flash it. Do not over flash it. Where are we at right here? We're trying to light up this wall here through the doorway. I'm at 1/8. 1/8. That'll be fine. The ambient will take care of that, and there's not really a lot showing over here, so it's whatever. Alright, that's fine. I always do 3 shots of the living room. I do 2 shots of the dining room. A pro tip is to always cross your shots, relatively speaking, and I'll show you what I mean as I go through this Airbnb rental. Turn off my flash trigger, brighten this up. My histogram, you can see, is kind of bunched up over there on the right. That is how I like it when I'm not trying to show through the windows too much. I want some detail, but not to where it's just a white blob, as if you were a beginner. But this process is fairly simple. You can see here I'm trying to show the dining room table leading into the hallway, leading into the kitchen. Shows another table over there. We're trying to show the flow of space. Because when you're looking through an Airbnb, a lot of people like to see the entire space of what they're renting. It helps them visualize. That's a nice shot, not too overly exposed. It is creeping up on that edge of being overly exposed, but It's good. I'll drop the flash. Barely. It was 1/4 plus 0.7. I've dropped it to 1/4 plus 0.3, and that's still too much. We'll go 1/4 minus 0.3. It looks a little bit better compared to before. That's too bright. And that was, well, that one's actually not too bad, but it is what it is. We already took it. Let's see here. Getting on the left side of the frame. Gonna increase the power because I'm getting further from this right side of the frame, and I'm popping it up into this corner here. Boom. That looks good. That shadow is not too imposing. Now when we come up into this hallway, this would be good for some light stands, but I ain't got time for that. I'm gonna do one light pop here. Whoa. Dang. I'm over here with the camera. 360 camera is pushing me up, making me look all weird. Alright, let's do it like this here. Haha. Maybe that works. Maybe it doesn't. Alright, so I took it twice. The first one, the light edged over into the other half of the frame in the hallway. I don't want that. This one, the majority of that flash pop is kept on the right side of that can light, so that's good. Let's do the other side over here, try to get close to the wall so that way I can blend myself out nicely. Alright, it's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be. I don't really care too much. It kind of creeped over on the other side of that can light, but that's fine. I'll do this one more time at this light here. Dang it. This is so hard with the 360 camera to get close up, but I think I got it to work. Let's go. Boom. Yeah, that is too bright. Too bright up against this wall, this upper part of the wall. So I'm gonna drop, I'm already at 1/64th, but I'm gonna drop that to maybe 1/128th. I'm still at ISO 320. That never changes unless I'm trying to show outside a window. Shoot. That'll work. That's the left side there. It's not overly bright on the right side of the wall. This is me lighting up the right side of the hallway, and it's not overly bright on the left side, so that will work. I'm gonna increase flash power to 1/8, which doesn't really matter because if you're not using a 600, which you don't need to, but if you're not using a 600, then your flash power is not going to be the same. But the reason why I use a 600 to begin with is because I get to drop the ISO down as much as possible, and that results in a cleaner image when you zoom into the image. Now, since this room is already kind of bright with the windows open, I'm just going to go 1/8, pop it in there. You can see that looks nice, and this kitchen is lit up, so we'll blend those together. If you wanted to get fancy with it, you don't really have to, but we can just light this edge of this doorway here. I'm already at 1/8. For the side rooms, that's usually all it takes. And now we got a light on the edge of that door frame, and that looks nice. All right, so that's done. And I know it's taking a little while, but when you're not trying to explain things and you don't have a 360 camera blocking your way of getting slim up against the wall, you might have seen it in some of my other videos. I just kind of push right up against the wall. Everything is just quick and easy. All right. Just making sure that this frame is straight. This frame and this wall is straight, showing the table into the dining room. And again, I just went from this angle here, crossed over, and I basically do that for everything. And eventually, if you continue to do that throughout the entire place, you will have shown basically every wall that there is, and you will have covered every space, and we'll have left nothing out. So I did the ambient. I just did the ambient, right? Yep, just did the ambient. Boom. Gonna pop my power up to 1/4 over 0.7. Let's try that. That's my darken frame, darken repair. That's okay. That's a little bright, but we'll see what happens when we go into the editing room. Just to show you the difference with a white wall. When it comes to, I just dropped it from 0.7 to 0.3, plus 0.3. When it comes to a white wall, it doesn't really matter too much. See how this left side is lit nicely compared to that right there? That is overly bright. But we'll see what happens. Being a photographer is all about solving problems. Because if you can solve the problem, then you can have a great image. But if you can't solve the problem, then keep trying. Keep trying, it's not impossible. But I've been doing this for 17 years. Maybe not exactly the same technique, but photography is basically all the same, especially once you learn how to use a light. Alright, boom. Flash pop looks nice on this side. This side of the room looks nice. Not too bright, same over here. This pop doesn't cross over to the other side of what I'm going to blend. That looks good. That looks good right there. Alright. Alright, I think I'm just going to throw a pop up here just real quick, just because of whatever. Just in case. That does nothing. Let's pop it right. Well, nope, I was in the frame. That's not enough. It's not bad. It's not bad. Where are we going now? We're going over to the kitchen. Why not? Why not? This is an Airbnb, so I leave the trash cans. If they don't want the trash cans in the picture, then don't leave a trash can. When it comes to real estate, I will take the trash cans out of the picture. But I feel like people who rent Airbnbs appreciate knowing everything that comes inside of your Airbnb, even if it includes trash cans. Otherwise, if it's hidden, how are they supposed to know that it's included with their rental? Otherwise, if it's not included, then maybe they should come prepared. They're showing it in the picture. It's just a way of showing the value of the place that you're trying to rent. Helps answer questions, and it's not like someone's going to say, hey, do you have a trash can in your rental? Nope, but it just kind of helps, in my opinion. Like I said, if someone doesn't want a trash can in the picture, then I won't do it. That's the darken repair. We already did the ambient. I was at 1/8 over 0.7 because this wall over here is so far to light up this interior, can't talk now, interior of the kitchen. Now, we're gonna split this image here, drop the power a little bit. Oh, that's still too bright. Drop the power a little bit more. That was basically a full stop. Went from 1/8 plus 0.7 to 1/8 minus 0.7. That was all right. That'll be fine. No, it's not. The difference here is that this wall is lit correctly compared to this one where I'm further back. It's not lit the same. So I gotta get into here. Do that. There we go. Looks a lot nicer. It's lit a little bit better. And I'll pop a flash right over here just because of this little light. And that'll be fine. I'll show you what happens if you don't do that later on. Alright, so I'm gonna cross, actually I was looking in this direction. Let's cross it this way. This is what I mean right here. It just kind of gives them a different look every time, a different view every time. You're not doing the same view as you're going up to everything. And it might not mean anything, and it might be something that whoever is viewing the images actually likes but doesn't really know why they like it. Ambient, turn on trigger, switch the drive mode to a single frame. For the single frame flash pops, I'm at 1/8 over 0.3. I'm going to do my darken repair kind of back here rather than up close to the frame, just because I want that light to be softer as it hits. I don't want it to be too bright, otherwise if I would have done it over here, damn, that ends up being too bright. So now I'm gonna drop this to 1/16. I'll do the right side of the frame, bam, that's nice, left side, bam, easy. Easy. I do want to delete that other picture that I took because I don't want to get confused. That was this one right here. Bam, alright. Next one. Do I want to go this way? Yeah, I think I want to go this way here. Because that leads us back to the little table over there. But I was just looking. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Could cross over like this, just to show the length in that direction right there. You don't always have to stay so strict with your rules. And you don't have to take life so serious. Just have fun with it. Alright, bracket on continuous. 2 exposure stops. Yeah, 2 stops apart. 3 exposures, 2 stops apart. Ambient color does not matter. Bam. Back to 1/8 over 0.3. Gonna do the same thing again. Flash that pop right behind me. I don't really like how it lit up the right side of that frame over there, so I'm gonna reach over more. You can tell the difference, how it's kind of underlit over there compared to this one. It's a little bit lit better. Drop the power just a little from plus 0.3 to negative 0.3, still over 1/8. Hitting that left side, boom, and it's underlit over here, so I will increase the power because I'm actually lighting a wall that's further from the right side of this frame over here. So you have to increase the power if you want to light it correctly. All right, did that. Now I want to light this edge right there because there's nothing that I've popped so far that's lighting that edge, and that's enough right there. Boom. Not a lot of light, you don't really need it. We go this way. I'm only going to take one shot of this little table. And since I'm not looking at kitchen counter or kitchen cabinets, I'm just going to lower that a little bit so that way the composition looks a little bit better with this table and it doesn't look too high. Checking my focus. I want to get the edge of this bell curve to come up to the right side of the frame. White balance doesn't matter with the ambient. Let's take that ambient. Done. Trigger. Drop it down to one frame. 1/250 on the flash. And the faster you get at your system, the faster you will get out of the house and on to the next, or back home, or wherever you want to, whatever you want to do after the shoot. Do I care? Yeah, might as well. That's it. We will do 1/8 over 0.7, or 1/8 plus 0.7, and that looks okay. As you light up this left side there, gotta just pop that right there. That is way too bright, so I'm gonna drop the power a whole stop. Take that again. Oh, that's a little underexposed. I'm gonna erase it by half a stop. There we go. Looks better. It's not perfect, but who cares? I'll light up this hallway here. I'm at 1/16 minus 0.7. That's too far. Didn't light it up correctly. Just gonna raise it up to 1/16 and light up that edge right there. Oh, cannot forget about the rooms. You can forget about the rooms, but you don't want to forget about the rooms. That is too bright. Sorry for hitting the camera. I'm starting to work a little bit faster, so maybe I'm becoming a little bit clumsier. That looks better. Leaving the power at the same, 1/16, and you can see that's lit nicely. Do the same for this door right here, and light it from back here. That's fine. All right, let's shoot the bedrooms. Oh, come on, guy. Get my exposure and make sure everything is level correctly. Continuous bracket, 2 exposure stop, 3 shots apart. Dang, I can't really think right now. I'm just thinking about it too much. Let's go fix that pillow over there. Looks kind of off, but let me get my phone so we can make sure that we're fixing it correctly. Get this other pillow. Alright, not bad. to go. Take the ambient, boom, bam. Switch on the trigger. Drive mode, single frame flash pop. Going over 250. Now I expose my windows at my sync speed because you can see here that it's just, I mean, it's so bright outside that the exposure for the trees are decent. But if I were to go any brighter, I think that's where people are getting their issues with their windows just being overly too bright, is that they're trying to drop their shutter speed, or they're trying to raise their shutter speed, and it just makes it look too bright. So going over 250, single frame, I'm gonna say 1/8 plus 0.3 on the flash power. You can see that. And make sure you turn on your trigger. All right, there we are. That looks good. Do the opposite. Looks good. I haven't changed my power on the flash. Set that there. Turn that off. Okay. I am going to put my leg up on their bed just so I can get closer to the bed and have room to walk around when I light the flash. I'm basically still one stop. One stop overexposed. There we go. Okay, I don't really want to touch that since it's on a wobbly bed. Just gonna hit that ambient. Be super careful. Oh, I'm trying to turn on the trigger. 1 over 250. Turn on the flash. Flash power hasn't changed. 1/8 plus 0.3. Exposure is good. That's good. That's good. And that's too bright. So lower that a little bit, about half a stop. That looks better. Light up inside of here. Yeah, that's fine. And we're good. Since this is the master bedroom, usually I include 3 shots of the master, even though it's small, but it is what it is. Do I want to do this shot here? I probably don't want to. I think what I'll do is cross up over here. And do a little bit of this action right here. I will increase, there we go, the brightness so you and I can both see. Level that out with the edges of the door on the left, with the edges of the window on the right. Lower that exposure just a little. It's about as far as I can go. I think maybe let's close this door. Show the bathroom. Bathroom is hideous. Look at this right here, damn. Look at that hair. It's that Willy Wonka hair, because I've been so busy I can't get her hair cut. Oh, it's with the light. Alright, trigger is off, exposure is fine. Let's get that continuous bracket, hit that bracket, turn on the trigger. It's all about your system. It's all about your system. If you don't have a system, then you're just flailing along in the wind. But it's like McDonald's. McDonald's has a good system. Anybody can make a better burger than McDonald's, but can you sell a better burger than McDonald's? That's different. Anyone can make a better burger, but can you sell can you sell that burger better than McDonald's? Dropping the flash power. Usually in these small bathrooms, I'm at 1/32, and you can see there that that looks good with a 600 watt. I did my side to side, sure did. Good to go there. Let's go shoot the bathroom. That's those lights are gonna have to go. Lights off, gang. Since there is a cabinet right here that I'm seeing the underside of that cabinet, I'm just gonna raise the center column and I'm gonna get rid of that underside. I don't want to see that. Usually most people don't. When I was beginning photographer, I had a realtor laugh at me for that. Like, I can't believe you're always taking pictures of my countertops. Well, your countertops? What are you talking about? That's your kitchen. And then I realized, it's like, wow, my camera is kind of close to the countertops. I'm basically just, it wasn't like super close or anything, but I understood what she meant. And I've corrected it since. It's been a few years now. The ambient doesn't matter. The ambient color doesn't matter. Just gonna take that. Boom, 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 boom. Get it all set up. I'm gonna actually lower this to 1/64th on the flash power. Just gonna raise that. You can see that on there. Hit that. That is not bright enough. We'll go back up to 1/64th plus 0.7. And we're good. That's nice color. I can always brighten that a little bit in Photoshop. I don't care about that hot spot right there. I do care about that hot spot right there, so let's fix that. If the lights are off, why would there be a light glare? Alright. Now when I go into the editing room, you'll be able to see how I blend that together fast and easy. Let's go into the other room real quick. Set this down here. Sorry if I'm moving around too fast. I don't know how this looks on the camera, but I don't normally walk around slow when I'm photographing houses. Alright, now this is going to be too high. So I'll lower that center column back, drop this just a little. Oh, I don't know if y'all can see that, sorry. I'm getting a little bit of the edge of that fan right inside of here. And that's fine. Take that at 3 exposure. So anyways, back to the system. If you can have a good system, a fast system that puts out quality and not a crappy McDonald's burger, but it puts out quality, then you'll get to raise your prices and you will get to get the higher, or you'll get the better looking shoots more often than not, compared to the ones who only charge $100 per shoot. Who knows where they get sent off to. Sometimes those houses don't look that great. Bear in mind, I still get those houses Rarely, not as often, but I used to get them more often than not. But you have to build your skills somehow. And sometimes that means doing the lower end listings, even if it's to build up your character. So since I can't cross over into this corner over here, I'm just going to raise my legs. I'm going to throw that right there. Try and adjust this as best as possible. There we go. Whoa, come on, guy. Just wanted to get my leveler on there. Turn off the trigger. I'm not going to touch that again. 1/10. Play around right there. That's just not enough. That's a little bit better. We'll pop that. Go continuous bracket. 3 exposures. Hit that. Hope that my focus is correct, because I can't check my focus. Going to be super careful when trying to turn on this trigger. Oh, I for sure moved that. 100%. Anyways, we will just auto align those. Oh. Now the camera is starting to act a little slow. Normally I get the images back to the phone pretty quickly. Dang. Yeah, it's taking a second now. I'm just going to hit that because I know the exposure was going to be good on that one. Just going to work through the slowness. Work through the slowness. Alright, same flash power, 1/8. Minus 0.3 is what I had in the room. That's what I'm hitting this hallway with. Alright, so that room is good. Grab you. The system for real estate photography includes not just shooting your images fast, but editing them fast as well, so that way you can keep more of your money, not having to send off your work to overseas editors. If you ever get to a point of expansion, I don't want to raise my camera up this high. Look at that. I don't know if y'all can see that, but that's just too high. So when it comes to a utility room, I don't really care. I'll just pop it right there. It is what it is. This room's not amazingly important. Just switching to continuous bracket. I'm one stop over on my exposure. Actually, now the sun just went through. Went up to 1.7. Now it's at 1.3. It is what it is. Let's shoot that ambient. Bada bing bang boop. Grab the light. Drop this to 132. Turned on my trigger, so drop this to 132 again. Oh, make sure I hit that single frame. And that's good enough. That's good enough. Looks good. It is what it is. That's room. The last room. Nope, actually I think there's another bathroom we gotta hit. I don't even know if the audio is recording on this, to be honest. I could just be talking this entire time and the audio is blank. Guess we'll find out. I've never used it to record video. This 360 camera only costs $400 though, and they can take those. It's compatible with a Matterport. So I just tell clients, see, I can do Matterport virtual tours, absolutely, and I can do floor plans that come from Matterport. They're like, oh my god, I didn't know you do Matterport now. And I just charge them $200 per virtual tour. And this 360 camera has been paid off for multiple times. I've actually lost like 3 of them. I think 1 or 2 of them broke just because my tripod stand for it is a real piece. But they pay themselves off so quick. I have one client that gets a floor plan every single shoot. She gives me about 5 to 10 shoots a month. So I mean, like, it's just free money, really. I consider this profession to be the type of profession in which someone says, hey, I have a couple $100 for you. If you come and spend an hour or 2 over here, you just gotta come pick up the check. That's how easy this profession is. I mean, once you have your system down, it's practically mindless. I mean, you're still kind of solving problems like, oh man, that corner wasn't really lit that well, but you're not really thinking about it too much. You just kind of glance at it and see it. Alright, that's fine there. And this right side is actually not lit well enough either. I am at 1/16 over, or 1/16 plus 0.7. That looks better. Alright. All Rizzy right. Now what? I think I'm just going to do this corner right here. Just going to set that right there. Come on, little light. Bam. A little bit of this action right here. And then I still have to shoot the detail shots, which I will show you that as well, but that literally takes almost no time at all. And you get to charge more for those as well and say, oh yeah, I can shoot your Airbnb listing, and I include about 10 to 20 extra shots of your amenities, like your utensils. Oh, and people go crazy for that. They're like, what? You include all that? I'm like, of course I do. If it helps you with your property, then it helps me with photographing, or I don't know. It just gives me better clients. It gives me more clients, really. Oh shoot! How am I gonna hit that trigger? How am I gonna hit that trigger? Oh! I think I still probably hit it, but that's why I like Lumenzia. Lumenzia is good for alignment. Bam! That's gonna be the behind the camera dark and repair. Hit that right. Hit that left. Hit this hallway. Got that edge right there. Looking juicy. I don't think we'll be able to see this, but why not? It's that other bathroom I was talking about. Yeah, you can't even see that. It is what it is. And I will blast a lot of light. We'll say 1/2 power right into this corner over there. Now you're not loading. Come on, bro. All of a sudden, that's good enough. That's good enough. All right, bam. to this bathroom real quick. And we'll practically be done with the interiors. This is a duplex, so I mean, it is what it is. Look the same. They all look the same on the inside. Doesn't matter how many floors they have. Showing a little bit of that bathtub tile and trying to make sure that everything is lined up as well as possible. Doesn't have to be perfect. Checking my focus, going down to my continuous bracket, grab my phone, whatever I did with it. Get that bracket. Boom, 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 boom. Hit this right here. Yeah, that's right. What am I doing? Drop it down to about 1/32 minus 0.7. Just going to hit that top corner over on the left to light up the right, and it is not enough, so I'll raise that maybe 3/4 of a stop or 3/3 of a stop. That's quite bright, but I'll run with it. Now you can see it there. Actually, I don't know if you can see it so well as I walk through this bathroom. You can see right here there's a flash pop of my light. So what I'll do to counteract that is to light up, go over here, light up over the light or the window. Maybe take a picture. Whenever my camera gets like that, I have to just restart it, but we're already done. We're done. Turn that off.